Hey everyone, this is Brooke again, and don't ask me what day it is. It's like, oh my god, I know what day it is. I know. I just know that I know, but I can tell you. I cannot tell you what day it is. I can remember right now. That's so stupid. Anyway, it's somewhere in the middle of March, 2020, and you know, a lot of people right now are suffering, because they cannot they cannot do what they wanted to do or what they think they wanted to do, which is like go to work and be miserable. I'm not subjected to those kind of laws or whatever you call them, or for whatever the reason. Shit, I've had kind of like a different experience in this realm, and then I feel guilty for not having, you know, other experiences. Let me see, it's like if I can put this here. Let's put some water. Okay, honey, I can lean it over here. So I cannot see if I'm getting seen because the light is coming this way. Yeah, now I think I can see myself something. So, I mean, it is kind of like traumatic to start getting out of the matrix. I remember when I went on disability, I was like, oh, damn, this shit was really hard, and I was just a waitress. That was the catch. I was a waitress. I was gonna say just because I'm sure I was, you know, doing the purpose that we all doing our purpose. We don't even notice that we're doing our purpose, but we are. Sometimes it's like the most casual conversations that end up impacting us in certain ways. So I learned that after a while. But just I was just thinking, how well, my life is not lonely because I don't feel lonely. Um, uh, you know, and and then I get into the limitations of the language, feeling and what's the other one? Feeling and believing. Those are the two words that I'm like, why they put them in the dictionary for? Like I don't really, um, because I think everything is all part of being, in a sense, just like it is about the being, but then we can get into like a million divisions, right? But I feel those terms are for people who are very lost, like I was for quite a while. So I just decided to get in front of the phone because I was thinking, again, I'm thinking about, like looking at the whole world and seeing a very different energy than we see here in the United States. And I mean, the logical explanation is propaganda. I mean, we have been the most affected by their propaganda, and to a point that, you know, they don't even have to say much. Um, I haven't been out because, like, I had like a realization that I always knew about these viruses, winter viruses, and just like, especially I have an uncle of mine who always used to say, like, the cold got nothing to do with getting sick. But I was always getting sick in the winter. I was always getting sick in the winter. And so now this with the coronavirus is like, oh, now that they are like really, it's like the truth is coming out. These viruses, they thrive in the cold. This shit thrive in the cold. And I've been complaining the last 2, 3 winters since we started getting, especially the new subway cars, how they're keeping the subway cars like, 40 degrees, just you know, um, to kill, people who don't have a home, just like basically, I mean, like from pneumonia. Just like, what the hell? Just, we got coats already. But people, they don't have coats and boots and stuff. So I feel really bad for our brothers and sisters in the transit system, you know, just trying to have a couple hours sleep. Just like for real, I mean, this is their fight. You know, my fight when I was homeless was taking a shower. Oh shit, I could not take a shower. Nowhere, because there was only, the shelters only had public showers with not even curtains. And I was like, hell no. So that was tangential. So, yeah, I mean, they keep coming back. It just came back, and I was thinking, I had a first a thought. I said, should I get on the phone? Because I've been, kind of like sometimes you just make a little turn and you find these amazing people on YouTube. So, yeah, that kind of thing, and just like, shit. I think I was binge watching. Yeah, because watching and washing drive me crazy with your language. So, like the wash and wear. Um, so, I mean, I've been coming back to it. I've been coming back to it, for already like what, like 5 months since the whole world started, you know, revolting into, you know, massive protests and whatnot. It's just like, and I see, I look at the United Slaves and nothing. Well, here, nothing here, the same old, like crackers doing their protests, control opposition, just controlled opposition, that the last one, I did was against police brutality, and it was a mess. It was very disrespectful because it was not prepared. It was like just a bunch of people there. That was it. Nothing. Like like usual. Um, you get you know, I mean, speeches sometimes. Good speeches sometimes, you see some energy stuff. Oh no, that one just was a mess. I thought it's like, what the fuck is that? This is your ghetto, but it was all white. It was all white. But it was very, they really didn't have nothing. Nothing. And like, it was like when the people started talking, somebody was talking, nobody heard them. It was like in the middle. It was like a bunch of, let's say like 500 people and somebody in the middle, in the street. You cannot hear shit what they were saying. I was like, how you call that an action? That is not an action. That's just sloppy. Like, just to say, like, I feel like, it just what took over was all these crackers doing these events just to get laid, basically. To get laid and to get like a group, and then it's like a comic book to them, and just like, oh yes, and we are doing great things, and we are like, in their head, I guess. I don't know, because shit, you know, still pretty bad, for African Americans, especially for African Americans, and they just decide to pretend it's not happening. So, but then it's not just our African American brothers and sisters, it's everybody in this country. And so, the last 4 days, I've been seeing on social media that, that Cuomo is requesting the military. Um, what's it called? Cuomo is requesting the military, and the mayor, de Blasio, mm, went out on a talk show or something like that and say like, oh, we need the military in New York City. It's like, instead of being at the border, that military should be in New York City. Like, and like, you say, I told him, I said like, stop that bullshit. Yeah, fear monger, and it's like it's a full circle because I was watching just a little while ago this gentleman in he live in Europe, I think, but he's like, um, I think he's, I think he looked like he's from what we call Sudan today. He's like, for some reason, I saw a little clip of his. I saw a little clip of his, and in another video, and it was fascinating. And so it's like, finally, because I lost the other channel, so I said like, let me try to look him up. There's gotta be a freaking way I can look him up. And so just I'm like, when I'm determined, I'm determined. So it took me a few days, but I found his channel. Yeah, he have a channel. So he was talking about fear, and how this fear that we are collective fear is most likely triggering other events, because that's kind of like the energies that they need for whatever they're doing, I heard that theory a while back, and it's just been like it is kind of like hard for me to believe that there's forces that need fear, or that feed of fear, or even thrive on fear, so it's like, but I don't know. He was talking about also, the relationship with Corona, and in numerology and astrology and stuff like that, the significance that have, Um, so I mean, I've been watching a lot of astrologers, because I'm trying to understand a little bit, and they all say just like, well, we have these who that Uranus, no, the other one, Saturn, something. It's just some forces of othering that we have. So they say, those are the energies that they're prone to happen. Shit that's prone to happen when you have these othering energies. It's like, say, sometimes it's like migration, anti-immigrant or xenophobia, or like this, where everybody just like, who's gonna sneeze, who's gonna cough, you know, I wanna know so I can move, so um, I mean, it's just kind of like, it's scary. It is scary that, I mean, well, I hear that I haven't been out since Thursday, and today, I don't know if it's Wednesday or Tuesday. I think it's still Tuesday. Yeah, I think it's Tuesday night, yeah. Mm. But, I hear, and I've seen like the news bits that they put on Twitter. Everything is empty outside, so it's just kind of like, I don't know, I get a couple different feelings, because it's like, okay, that's good. That's good that we have in like the great majority of the population in New York City, you know, just decided to play along, to go with the flow. The flow right now is to stay home, right? To stay home. It's like, big deal for me, especially in the winter. I stay home a lot. This was the winter actually that I was out the most. And I don't know, I was trying to understand a little bit of the planetary things, whatever. Um, there's been a couple of astrologers that say that I'm just Aries, like April, Aries. Like we just kind of like terminated a cycle. Um, and I love those kind of astrologers, and that the ones that they talk to you like grown up, instead of like sometimes it's just omit all these explanations. So yeah, like this year, um, Capricorn is ending a 60 or 62, I forgot, 60 or 62 year cycle. So, all the Capricorns that are like, like 60, 60 years or older, the 62, I mean, whatever. Anyway, so they're gonna be finishing this cycle. So I think it's like I didn't hear much about mine, so I guess I have to do more research. What kind of cycle I just finished. So I think I heard more information about Capricorns than my own. But I don't know. It might be superstition, whatever. I don't know what they say. What's the other one? Hypochondriac. So, but I do feel like a little bit different, and but that's about it. And I mean, and it's also not all the time, but I do feel like it's kind of like since we never really talk about energy, it is hard to have a language on energy, and that's one of the main difference between today and like 400 and whatever years before the crackers got here, 500 in Mexico. So yeah, 500 years ago it was like it was all about energy because obviously we was like much much wiser, and we knew that we living in energetic world, and that's all it is. That's all it is. It's a world of energy and with a few manifestations. But how, because the crackers, they love material shit because they cannot see spiritual. They cannot feel. They're like, totally retarded when it comes to, spirituality and stuff. But unfortunately, and I was just watching one of these master teachers, I was just looking at that they are hiring the Europeans, uh, and like even celebrities, and they are hiring in Africa these high priest and priestesses, to pump them up with power. I'm like, oh gosh, this is like this freaking coonery is just like, and we cannot talk about it. We cannot, and I'm not talking about just African Americans. I'm talking about everybody, every people in the whole world. It's just like, betrayal in, betrayal out. I mean, like in my home country in Mexico right now, well, I'm just gonna talk about one big betrayal, which is the president of the party. The president of the party that we won, Morena, and I mean she was not elected, she was not voted, but it was an agreement that she was gonna take over, until the next elections, because our president Lopez Obrador, obviously took office, right? So, and for some reason, the rules are that he cannot be both, which is awful. So it's like, so what's I gonna do? What's I gonna say? But I mean, I feel like, I mean, we're doing all that because we just don't want to be labeled communist. It's like, it's like, oh my God, every freaking government in Latin America. I mean, if you want to scare them, you call them socialist or communist or, you know, we gotta tiptoe around, the United Slaves. So, but that's just a reality. That's just the reality. So, and I lost my train of thought. And yeah, this fucking laryngitis is like shit. It's been 2 days since I got this. I don't even speak. I don't even speak. It's like I'm by myself, I say like since Thursday, so I don't I don't really speak, but just this effing weather. I'm like, I don't know, and I feel like in a way, God, you know, higher power, or, the divine is telling me that I don't belong here. I don't belong here. I'm only 54. Well, I'll be 55 in a couple weeks. Knocking on wood. So, and imagine me 75, and I'll be like, I have to stay in the house for at least 4 months, probably. It's just, it's just crazy. But going back, I didn't want to make the whole thing. I just want to continue talking about it until hopefully I get some inspiration. I get some, haka, as I was listening to. That's another, you can look it up, haka from Kemet. But well, anyway, it's the same as, aha. Well, that's haka. So, yeah, so, but I don't know. It's just, the idea that we're just terrified. That's why we're being so docile these past couple of years, while the entire world is uprising. I mean, like, even France is like, they've been rioting for, I mean, it's gonna be a year probably since they riot every weekend. They burn everything down and shit, and then they come back next weekend. I mean, but I mean, I shouldn't just say that. While they keep getting results, I keep hearing that, they're negotiating, and, that Macron back up. So they know how to protest, right? You go there until you get what you want. You want us to disappear? Give us what we want. That's it. You gotta make them very, very uncomfortable, because that's what they hate. That's what they hate. It's like, oh my God, you can do whatever, but as long as I don't see you. But if I have to see you and hear you, and then I cannot go shopping the way I want and shit, live my fantasy the way I want to live it. So that's when they go ballistic. So anyway, so that's the whole thing. That is the whole thing. I mean, how come like, I mean, like Chile. What, 2 months in Chile? Have a passive aggressive cat. If he don't get what he want, he go and like make some noise, and then he slammed those bells I have at the door. He go and slam them. He grab anything to make noise. And I just fed him like today like 10 times, because we're in the house. Because I'm in the house. When I'm in the house, it's like hungry, hungry, hungry all day. So I can imagine these people locked up, with their families, for it's gonna be like a week, I guess. It's gonna be a week since people are locked up. And I find that stupid because, I mean, if everything is empty, you know, how are they going to catch it? Or who they're gonna give it to, right? Oh, thanks for the thumbs up. Somebody gave me a thumbs up. Oops. But that's what it is, I don't know. So the thing is that we have an excess of fear, and we need to keep it down. We need to control the fear. We need to, like, I don't know. It's like we've been conditioned to believe that, oh, there cannot be action without fear. There cannot be action without fear. Oh, you gotta be like, and I thought it was gonna fall off. Can you stop? He was scratching the old one, the older one, the seasoned one, and the other one go in the face, go like, it's like, what the hell? He don't want to play with you. Nobody want to play with you. No. Look at this. This is what I go through. Is hunting him. It's like, and the other one is like, I want to go by. Let me come through. I wanna. And he's like, okay, you can come through. And as soon as he go by, he jump on him. Cause you're wild. Cause you're wild. Cause you're Aries like me. But thank God he's a March Aries. I'm an April Aries at least. At least. So we're both crazy anyway. Not even. Oh my God. And it's a steam. This is a steam too. But I cannot open the windows. Cannot open the windows. And I guess one day, I don't know, I have to invest in a humidifier. They're so expensive though. So anyway, I hope this makes somebody think about it. Somebody think about it. What is it like? Yeah, well, there's the fear of their military. There's their fear of the NYPD. There's their fear of the coronavirus. And I think that's it, right? So we got two fears. Fear of the gun and fear of being targeted. And we got the fear of the coronavirus, which, by the way, nobody's saying what happened to our lungs after we recover from the coronavirus. I mean, if you get the coronavirus, you know, that's another shit. It's like, oh, I'm staying home. I sure don't need to catch it, especially not after. Even if they say, like, oh, your lungs are fine after the coronavirus, it could be compromised because they're all about, cutting the life expectancy. Because that's another way of population control, population, decrease the population. Like right now, it was a purge. It is a purge going on right now. So many people they think this is not it. This is what, and this is interesting that I've been thinking the same way too. You know, I just finally said it to the gentleman who put the batteries, on the watches. Who changed the battery watches, whatever, the watch batteries. I don't know. I hate this language. So, I told him because he was there with his friends all the time. It's like, um, it, they don't drink though. Obviously, he's working. So, but I told him, what about if, we all get like, okay, so it wasn't too bad, and they throw the real one, they throw the real virus, and they say it's the same one. Oh, it's the coronavirus. You know, um, there's a lot of questions, a lot of questions. I don't want to make you panic, like I said, because that's the whole opposite. We are in this freaking mess because of fear. Fear, fear, fear. They say it's very heavy energy. So, whether, whatever the properties of heavy energy, I'm not going to discuss that. But it just, at the very least, we need other types of energy. I would conclude, I will like, logically, it's just like not just one kind of energy. And that's all we got, just one kind of energy. Always fear of not finding a husband, fear of getting fired from work, fear of, you know, being assaulted in the street or beat up, or, now fear of the coronavirus. But I mean, it's like they made it as if it was our default fear. Even they say, oh, God fearing, you know, he's a God fearing man, and that's another, you know, what's it called, redundant or whatever they call it. Thought, just I'm thinking about the word and now I'm getting lost. Oh, I lost my train of thought. Sorry. So anyway, you can agree on that. That we need a different kind of energy because fear is not working for us. Fear. I mean, probably at one point we probably thought it's just like, okay, so fear is gonna keep me safe because I'm not gonna be, slutty, you know, 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning, even worse, I'm not gonna be like over there, like, and I see how they're snatching bitches and put them in a band. And I say, who is manufacturing these vans? With that, they're soundproof. They're soundproof and they have a special locking system. So, who is manufacturing those? Why they're not illegal? If they catch you with one of those vans, it should be at least 20 years. At least. Oh, you're the, and but who's making those vans? All that stuff tell me that then they don't care. It's called population control. Population control. That's why they destroy our self-esteem. They destroy our self-esteem. Even if we think like, the spics, they got it all. It's like, no. I mean, like, you don't speak the language, so it's kind of like it's hard to let you know how to translate and stuff. I had made some videos in my other channel, but they're gone. So I don't know. I haven't felt like making more videos to update on the situation in Mexico, which is great, but at the same time, it's very scary because, I mean, we can literally see they are preparing their guns, they're pointing them, missiles. I mean, if not literally, without, I mean, like at this point, we must watch the skies. I really believe that shit's been happening with the drones. With the drones. I watch a lot of Venezuelan television, and I see that every week, they have to chase planes and drones from the national territory, from the airspace, from their, waters. Every day they got to chase them out. I mean, most of them are drug traffickers. They're coming from Colombia. They're going to the United States. But, that's something that Venezuela don't tolerate. And that's why Venezuela is being targeted. Because they say, no, we are not allowing drugs coming through our territory, period. And there all the crackers are like, and you don't even know why. You don't even know why. You're just like, oh no, just, speak this, speak that. And like, we fall right, for it. We fall for it every time. Because they know if we was together, we was like, okay, knowing each other. And that's also one of the biggest problems we have in Latin America. We are not as tight as we used to be even 20 years ago. Even 20 years ago, it was like open cultural exchange from every country, And now it is just like, it's isolation, fighting. I mean, it's treason. We go back to treason, the traitors. Like in Ecuador. This guy in a wheelchair, he said he was for the people and everything. And, the WikiLeaks exposed him, having millions of dollars in one of those cities, Paradise, whatever. And he continued to be, shameless neoliberal. And that's it. There's nothing like we can do. Like literally, his people is like, shutting down programs and everything. And corporations, you don't have to pay taxes. That's okay. And I feel it's a result that because we don't teach them in school. We should teach them in school and say like, they're the scum of the earth. And that we are not even, going to mention their names in history. We're just going to curse them out. Not kumbaya, no like, oh yeah. Anyway, I'm getting angry, so I'm gonna cut off. I just wanted to say, think about it. Why, especially in Latin America, you know, they're protesting neoliberalism. They're demanding, like in Argentina, they kick them out in the elections. That's it. They say, the great majority say, fuck neoliberal bullshit. So, and why is it that over here, like, nothing, nothing. Police reform. Oh, yeah, let's reform them. It's like cancer. Just take out a little bit of cancer. Don't take out all the cancer. It's no fun if you take out all the cancer. I don't get to make money. This way you come back in a couple months and it's like, oops, let's take out some more cancer. And you get the bill and like, why didn't you just took it out all in one time? Beyond criminal. Beyond criminal. And we are complacent. Shameful.